The light will just not cooperate with me today, so you get shiny face, yay, shiny. Hey guys, it's Peanut Butter Ice Cream Bar. So the other day I was sort of woefully going through my channel and looking at my really old videos and going all the way back to the beginning, and my first videos were BJD Addicts prompts. I don't know if that group is still active or not, but I'm sure a lot of you know what that group is. Probably some of you have made responses to those prompts, and one of those prompts was stereotypes, and that got me thinking. Now, I know in the past I've made a video called Why BJDs, but this time I want to ask, besides art, what got you into this hobby? What does this hobby do for you, I guess is a better way to phrase that. I know a lot of people like me got into this hobby for writing, and when you think about it, that's kind of a strange connection. I think it comes from, at least it did for me, trying to write characters who weren't based on people that I actually knew, so it was nice to have a physical form that you could sort of try different types of clothes on, try different types of wigs, and see how that character in your head would sort of accept or reject the different things you were giving to them. And I think that's a lot of what it is for me now as well. I've really been trying throughout my whole time in this hobby to create most of the time in this hobby, to create characters who are realistic and average in a good way. Average in a good way, if you can wrap your head around that. But while we're on the topic of stereotypes, I thought it would be just a tittle-tattle interesting to look at one of the more popular stereotypes in this hobby, which is homosexual male characters. I know. Yikes. Forewarning, I have a lot of issues with, not serious issues, but just like little blips about the way people create their male characters, especially the gay ones, because there's just a lot of stuff. If you want more ranting on the subject of yaoi, I do have 2 videos about that already. So many feelings! But one of these things I notice a lot, especially in this hobby, so I'm gonna talk about it right now, and that is the idea of the gay male Mary Sue. Now, I already did a video about Mary Sues as well, so I'm not gonna get too into that, but I'm talking specifically about characters who will have their bio, and you know a lot of bios have like likes, dislikes, and you'll see things like my boyfriend, sex, my other boyfriend, parties, my hair, and it's like, first of all, here's my first thing. Imagine for a moment that you are on a dating site, and this is someone's profile you stumble across. If you saw in their profile that one of their likes was sex, would you not think that that person was just a teeny bit skeezy or a teeny bit desperate? It's just not the kind of thing that you're like, hey, my name is so-and-so and I really love sex. It's like, okay, well, you're human, so I kind of assumed. You're human and you've been through puberty, rather, so I kind of assumed that's something that you probably would like. Because reproduction is a pretty decent survival strategy. It doesn't really tell you much, other than you're a little bit skeezy, maybe. Maybe you want to be in like a softcore porn movie, late night HBO. You could just say that though. You could say, hey, one of my hopes and dreams is to be on a late night HBO movie called Sexy Alien Spawn 7. Went to the tryout last week. Went to the audition. I auditioned for it. I'm gonna be Sexy Alien Sally. Yeah. But I feel like this whole thing doesn't come from the desire to make a character skeezy, or even the desire to make a character attractive in any way. It more comes from a desire, at least it did for me, for when I was doing this to my poor characters, that you're making a sort of another kind of Mary Sue, in the sense that you're making a dream self that's, at least for me, was separated enough from my actual self by making it a different gender and a different appearance that I could, you know, successfully hide my shame, because that wasn't really the story or character that I wanted to write about or for. It just wasn't. So it was a little bit shameful that I was doing that. I was only doing it because I didn't like who I was at the time, so I wanted to make a dream self. A self who gets all the boys. who's never sexually rejected, because that's a thing that happens to everybody. Right? And you know, it's always so easy to say, oh, I was going through so-and-so at that point in my life, but I do feel like that was why I was doing that. And I consider myself an average person, so I assume the reason why I do things sometimes is also the reason other people do things. And I just feel like a lot of the time my BJDs, my characters in general, are reflections of who I wanted to be at the time or who I wanted to meet at the time. I mean, it's hard to get outside your own mind and not be yourself, which is what the main challenge for writing is for me, which is why for so long, full circle here, I've been in this hobby. Cyclical! Now, of course, if you have a character who is Mary Sue-ish, or gets all the boys, as I like to say, and you're just writing it for fun, and you like yourself, and it's not, and you're just having a good time with it, I mean, and you're not hurting anybody, A+. High five. Secret handshake. Is that in your secret handshake? It totally should be. It totally should be. It should be like boom, 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 row. It's pretty cool. But now for a weird thing that I mentioned in my last video, which hopefully I posted before this one. Recently, even though for the entire time I've been in this hobby, it's been mostly about character development and writing and character creation and all that good stuff, recently, within the past couple weeks, I've found myself being very visual, to the point where I've wanted to bring home different head sculpts that intrigued me deeply, and I just wanted to know, has anyone else ever experienced this sort of weird flip-flop where all of a sudden you wake up one morning and you're like, this hobby means a completely different thing to me now. I just really want to paint weird faces on weird looking things. So what do you guys think? Has that ever happened to you? Did you go take the plunge and do the different thing? Did you not? Let me know. I need advice. And the second question related to that, I'm just really curious as I was thinking about all these other things. How many dolls do you guys think is too many dolls? Is there a number? Do you have like a cutoff point for yourself where you're like, well, I can get this many and then after that I gotta start selling them if I want more? Or do you just kind of go for it, reach for the stars? Or do you have a rule like you can have 25 centimeter dolls and only 6 60 centimeter dolls? Or, you know, is there like, can you have more smaller dolls than you can have larger dolls? Is that a thing? Or is it about storage? I mean, what do you guys think? I'm not asking to tell me what you think I should have, but what do you guys think for yourselves? Is there a limit? Is there no limit? Perfect moment for a Mean Girls reference that I'm not going to make. So anyway, that was a lot of questions, and I'm going to leave you now because this video is getting pretty darn long, so let me know what you think about all that stuff, and I'm gonna go furniture shopping. Oh no, I forgot to do the secret handshake that I just made up. I can do it to myself. Ready? Ha! Did you see it? This is the cat claw. I don't know why there's a cat, but there's a cat. Bye!